Hey everybody, happy Monday. This is a look ahead to the Sixers and Flyers who are both playing tonight. The Flyers are 8, 9, and 6 with 22 points versus the Penguins who are 12, 10, and 3 with 27 points. The Penguins' leading point getter is Phil Kessel, who has 31 points with 11 goals and 20 assists. Then it's Crosby with 22 points with 9 goals and 13 assists. Then it's Malkin with 21 points with 7 goals and 14 assists. The Flyers' leading points getter is still Jake Voracek with 29 points, 7 goals, 22 assists. And then Couturier has 25 right behind him, our leading goal scorer, with 13 goals and 12 assists. Then Giroux has 10 goals and 15 assists for 25 points. The estimated starting goaltenders will be Elliott versus Murray to give both teams the best chances. Brian Elliott has been looking a lot better of late. Then we just had other issues like defensive collapses, forwards not knowing who they're supposed to be guarding, and stuff like that. It seems like at this point with the Flyers on the losing streak, it's always something. We'll get goals, then forwards can't guard whoever, or we'll get goals and our defensemen suck that night, or we'll get goals and the goalie sucks, or we just don't get any goals and the goalie does great and we don't win. It seems like lately it's just been always something that allows us to lose the game. In the past two overtimes, it was key defensive breakdowns. So we need to try to come out strong tonight against Pittsburgh, especially against Pittsburgh. You got to come out strong, play up to their level like we did against the Islanders, who are another good team. So that's the only reason I have some hope that we could actually come out of this game at least going into overtime and pulling a point from Pittsburgh. But typically with a divisional game, you don't want to just settle for 1 point. You want to try to get both of them because that could come back to bite you in the end because of the fact that they're in your division. But with how the Flyers are going right now, it would actually be a victory to make it to overtime with the Penguins team, who's been playing very solid lately. And well, they haven't been playing very solid lately, excuse me. I mean, who has been playing decent lately, but for sure better than the Flyers. And for one, they have a very good goalie, so the Flyers are going to have to get in front of Matt Murray, who's 11-7-1 with a 2.94 goals against and a .9068%. So he allows some goals, but equating him to anybody on our team, Matt Murray is going to end up being a good starter in this league. Nobody on the Flyers is that level. So it's not as easy against like Tomas Greiss to put in pucks in the net without getting a lot of traffic, which we also did better at against the Islanders. So tonight against Pittsburgh, they're going to have to continue to try to put some traffic in front of the net and be very aggressive. Otherwise, this game can get very ugly really fast. Elliott's 6-5-5 with a 2.85 goals against and a .905 save percentage. The team really has to start helping out Brian Elliott because he makes some nice saves and no one's there to either clear the rebound on a tough save or our whole defense just breaks down. And we knew going into this season, and I blame it on Elliott too when he doesn't make some big saves, but it's not really his fault because we knew going into the season we were having two platoon goaltenders that were just both average. So with those two guys in net, either Michael Neuvirth or Brian Elliott, you can't be having defensive breakdowns and expecting them to save you because they're not necessarily those type of goalies. Now, Pittsburgh, when they do that, they can get a couple breaks because Matt Murray can come up and make a couple big saves in the game. Elliott has done it, but it's not expected. It's more of like a, wow, what a great save by Brian Elliott, as in Matt Murray has the skill set to become a very good starter in the league, so you're not as surprised if he saves you and makes a big save. So tonight, Flyers are going to have to be very aggressive, very vigilant on defense, and not allow any breakdowns against this very high-skilled Pittsburgh team. I think it should be a good game because it's the Battle of Pennsylvania, and typically we always have good games in those games, but it's going to be very tough to get off the snide to win this one to get off our losing streak. But again, it would be a small victory if we can just make it to overtime, but we'll see what happens. Moving on to the Sixers. The Sixers play the Cavaliers tonight. The Sixers have won 5 of their last 6, and the Cavs have won 7 straight ball games. So, it's going to be tough again for the Sixers tonight, facing LeBron James, which is here. LeBron averages 28.5 points with 7.8 rebounds and 8.5 assists versus Embiid, our leading guy, with 22.4, 11.2 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. We're 11-7 and they're 12-7, so records are kind of equating at this point. And the only difference is the Cavaliers obviously we have developing guys to become some of the best guys in the league at their position. The Cavaliers obviously have the best player in the world in LeBron James. And obviously the big key to the Cavaliers this season, when they were losing earlier in the year, was being able to at least hold LeBron in check, because a lot of their other guys aren't having too great of a season. Like Dwayne Wade, the guy came over this year from Miami, has 10.2 points, 3.9 assists, and 3.9 rebounds. So he's more of just a bench player at this point of his career, not who he used to be by any stretch. So if you can stop LeBron, they can only bank on him so much to pick up some of the slack as long as you can hold LeBron at bay. The same goes for Kevin Love, who's been better of late, but you would still expect him to have a little bit better numbers than 17 points per game, and 10.4 rebounds is pretty good. And then he doesn't really get assists. He gets about 2 assists per game. Korver, the former Sixer, who tends to usually do pretty well against us, averages 10.8 this year and 2.3 rebounds. And then Crowder, one of their other acquisitions this offseason, is 9.3 points and 3.5 rebounds. So LeBron has been doing a lot of the heavy lifting this year for Cleveland, which is why certain people on ESPN, on NBA TV, and etc. have concerns about how well LeBron is going to be if he keeps up this rate of play and many minutes in each game, how well prepared he's going to be at the end of the season with his body at the age he's at. I mean, I've seen no signs of struggle, but I see what they're saying. If Isaiah Thomas' injury gets delayed or something, or he doesn't come back on time, it could start getting tedious for a player in their 30s, even though they're one of the best in the world all time, to actually play 35, even more minutes a game if needed. But right now he looks perfectly fine, and I think he should be perfectly fine because LeBron's one of those workhorses that's always in great shape and has not been injury plagued this season, so playing through anything. So he should be okay. For the Sixers, our second guy, Simmons, obviously, who did participate in the shoot-around, so the signs are looking good that he'll play tonight. He has 18.5 points, 9.1 rebounds, and 7.7 assists. Then one of our shooters, in J.J. Redick, has 16 points a game, 3.2 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. Our other shooter, the new contract boy, Robert Covington, has 15.9 points, 6 rebounds, and 1.6 assists. Sixers, in order to stay with the Cavs, are going to have Joel Embiid do well down low because he'll be up against Kevin Love, and other than Kevin Love, not really too much. The Cavs don't have great down low defending unless if they put LeBron on them to pick up and have 2 guys guard JoJo. And Ben Simmons, who likely will be who LeBron will be guarding some of the time, as long as he can drive and kick out to guys like Rocco, J.J. Redick, even Jared Bayless, we could get some open threes. And in order to be successful against Cleveland too, I think we're going to have to shoot consistently from the three, which has been kind of an unbalanced thing for us of late. One game we'll do really good from the three as it expected with this team. Then our next game we'll have to win because of Embiid or Simmons driving and getting a lot of points that way. So I think we're going to have to play a more balanced game to beat the Cavs, drive in, kick out, and hit a big three. Either if that's Dario, Redick, Rocco, or Jared Bayless, one of those guys is going to have to step up tonight and hit those big threes. I think it'll be a great game. I think both games tonight, the Flyers and Sixers, should be good games because the Flyers are the battle of PA, and the Sixers are playing, obviously, the team, one of the big teams in the East. So it should be a very good battle. It'll probably be packed in the Wells Fargo Center, and a lot of excited people to see LeBron James. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the two games tonight. Peace.